How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy that you've been long awaiting with a new tutorial video, this time on Early Hard Mode. Yeah, that's right. Today I'll be giving all you out there a tutorial to Early Hard Mode. Make sure to like if you enjoy this video and subscribe if you enjoy my channel. But without further ado, let's get into it. Hard Mode. It's tough. Everything you thought you knew before, it's completely out the window. I mean, you have spent the last 6 bosses growing stronger and becoming the apex predator of this world. Now look at you, back at square one. It's the most likely case right now that you have just beaten the wall of flesh and have your game on pause in fear of what hard mode will hold. I mean, who didn't do this on their first run? If you haven't, well, I must admit you got some guts. But besides all that, where to start? Well, first, remember that evil biome that's been infecting your world since the beginning? Well, yeah, it's tripled in size and it's much more dangerous. Not only this, but a new evil biome has been added to your world called the Hollow. The Hollow is a friendly biome with unicorns, pixies, and all sorts of other magical creatures that so happen to want to kill you, so watch out for that. Oh, and another thing, this biome spreads just like the other evil biomes, but faster. Another thing I should mention is that every creature in the game has significantly increased in strength and are even more bloodthirsty than they were before. There are also hundreds of more enemies and entirely new bosses. You will be fighting for your life until the end of the game. But hold on, let's rewind it back a bit. The moment that you killed the wall of flesh, you probably have noticed this box right in its place, where the wall of flesh died. Lucky for you, this box will be what gets you started onto your journey into hard mode. There are most likely a bunch of things in this box that look cool, which I'll get into later. But the main thing I want you to worry about right now is the Own Hammer. A godly hammer that has the ability to destroy those altars that you've been crafting at all throughout the game. When you destroy these altars, they spawn brand new ore around the map. On any world, you have about a 50% chance to get one of these 2 ores each. First is either cobalt or palladium, which is at the bottom tier of hard mode ores. When you craft tools from these ores, go to the next level and mine either mithril or orichalcum. Then, from there, you get the best ore available at the moment, adamantite or titanium. Now that you've got some decent materials, let's get into what armor you'll need to survive hard mode. At this point of the game, Terraria is really trying to nail in class specificness. The most general armor you can use at this point of the game is titanium or adamantite armor, with their respective headpiece to a class. Now you may notice there's only 3 kinds of headpieces for 3 classes. Well, sorry Summoner, but you get a different armor, spider armor. But it doesn't just end here. If you are a melee or ranged player, you can also try to get frost armor, which I find to be pretty useful at times. You just need some adamantite or titanium, as well as some frost cores, harvested from ice golems. Although this armor has less defense in total, it allows you to deal a frostburn debuff on enemies. It also makes your weapons do more damage. One more thing to mention, for mages and summoner, it can also be worth it to get forbidden armor. And there's all of your armor, but fair warning to you as it is difficult to mine without proper weapons and defend against evil biomes, which have now spread to the underground. Which brings us to the next section of this video, the weapons section. Starting with the melee class, there are 2 weapons I could recommend. Those being the Shadowflame Knives and the Drippler Crippler. I'd prioritize getting the Shadowflame Knives from Goblin Invasions first, because Drippler Crippler is a little difficult to get. There are other great weapons for the melee class here, but me personally, this is what I would recommend. Now onto the ranged class. And I can say from my experience that being ranged in early hard mode is extremely difficult. Often, it can take a second or some grinding to actually get anything good here, which is why, first, I'm going to recommend 2 widely overlooked weapons in my opinion, those being the adamantite and titanium repeaters. These weapons paired with holy or hellfire arrows can really help rangers starting out in hard mode. And once you obtain a repeater of your own, I think most people would recommend going for the infamous and all-powerful Daedalus Stormbow. This bow is obtained from defeating the Hollow Chest mini-boss, which can be a little difficult to defeat for some. But the most important thing of all is to pair this weapon with holy arrows, which combined with the Daedalus Stormbow will destroy enemies. But anyways, onto the mage class, which actually has a number of nice options to try out. First and foremost being the Golden Shower, or Cursed Flames. These ones may not seem to do too much damage, but inflict pretty powerful debuffs onto enemies. For just starting out as an early hard mode mage, you can get the Flower Frost, and as one last great option you can get, the Shadow Flame Hextall from the Goblin Invasions, which I would highly recommend. Last but of course not least is the Summoner class with the Spider Staff, which will be a great start to hard mode for you summoners out there. Another better option is the Pirate Staff, but I would not recommend trying to get this thing, because you would have to have extreme luck from the Pirate Invasions. A good whip to pair with your staff options would be the Cool Whip, which also has a Frost Golem core in its recipe. But there you have it, that is all the weapons you need to start out hard mode. But another thing you may need is accessories. Remember how I told you we would later come back to the other stuff that was in the box that the Wall of Fresh dropped? Well, this is later, because the first accessory you'll need is actually in that box. Emblems. There are 4 emblems, each assigned to a specific class. The wall will only drop 1 emblem, so if it isn't your class, go to the Shimmer Biome and chuck it in, because it will cycle it through the other kinds of emblems until you get the one you need. The next important thing you will want to have is wings of some kind. Fairy wings are probably the easiest option to go for at this point. You will also definitely want either Tear Spark boots or Amphibian boots. Next, you want to obtain a Star Veil, and along with this, a Stinger necklace, as well as a Charm of Myths along with a Brand of Confusion or a Worm Scarf. If you have room for another accessory, another thing you can get is the Moon Charm, but I usually would do fine without it. One less useful thing to have on standby is an Obsidian Shield, or if you want to put your time into it, you could get an Ankh Shield. Next is your class-specific accessories. Something you can trade off with another accessory is the Power Glove. For ranged, a magic or molten quiver is especially useful. If you're on a corruption world, get the Putrid Scent. For those mages out there, out onto the list Celestial Cuffs and a Mana Cloak. Lastly, for summoner, the Pygmy Necklace you should try to fit into your accessory slot. Well, it seems you're all set for your grand adventure into hard mode. But before you set off on your journey, please make sure to like and subscribe, because it truly helps me out so much and inspires me to keep creating these informative and hopefully entertaining videos. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell so you can never miss another upload. But anyways, and as always, see you soon.